What's up, everybody? This is Thomas Bahamas, and you are here for Solana Weekly. Millions of people are showing up and taking part in Web3 and blockchain every day, every week. And guess what? The majority of them are showing up on Solana. I am a Solana enjoyer myself and have been trying to figure out this space since 2022. I have a tech background and an obsession with figuring out the latest trends and trying out all the latest apps and protocols. Join me as we dive into another episode of Solana Weekly to learn as much as we can about the fastest blockchain and the amazing ecosystem being built on top of that blockchain. Thank you for joining in, and let's get to the show. This week, we've got ourselves a treat of an interview and are going to be learning just how to integrate Solana into our golf games. I think this is a growing theme in Solana where we aren't just swapping coins on the internet anymore, but actually using blockchain tech to enhance our in real life experiences. We got BTuck on from the Golfn team, and he's rocking an amazing Bandito Solana monkey business as a profile picture. And I'm hoping that he's going to be taking my golf game to a whole new level with Golfn. So welcome, BTuck. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, the Banditos are a nice little tribe. Glad you noticed that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the Banditos are the best. I mean, I've got a Solana monkey business. I've had one for a while, but it was always like the dream to own a Bandito, and I don't. So
oh yeah, I got this one OTC. Um, was happy to do it. But yeah, I've been trying to get a Bandito for a long time. I got a Gen 3 first.
yeah.
A lot easier entry. But I was poking around for a Gen 2 Bandito and I snagged one a few months ago. So yeah, I'm proud of it.
There you go. There you go. It's like the top of it's like the cream of the cream, right?
Yeah, I just the monks in general, I really wanted a monk for a long time. I was at Solana, working full time on Solana since like December 2021, and it just seemed like everybody doing anything important was a monk at that time. And so
Yeah.
you get it like, man, I got to get one of these things. And finally last year, I think kind of end of 2023, I was able to get my first monk, and then later my Bandito. So you kind of feel like you've made it in a way once you get that SMB. So really awesome community on Solana. There's so many great communities though, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're in DeFi or NFTs or all these consumer apps that are happening, which is what we're doing at Golfin.
Yeah.
It's you can like really find your tribe easier than ever on here, and it's a great time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was especially when I joined when I got onto Solana, it was probably like 2022 or early 2022. It was like everybody that was anyone had a pixelated monkey profile picture, and they were like $20,000, like these were insanely high. And the funniest part was looking back, everybody that had them pretty much minted them, and it was like couple sold to actually mint them, and they were going up, and it was the NFT craze. But community kind of led that, and a lot of the people that started there are, the ones that are, running the ecosystem pretty much. So it's pretty cool.
Big time. Yeah, it's NFTs aren't dead. I know it's the market's down compared to like the craziness. And I think, part of it was as like Sol, the token was going down in price, you kind of saw it rotate into NFTs in that part of the cycle. So actually, I wonder if pricing NFTs and Sol is a bad idea because like when you have everyone in Solana is like bullish on Sol, the token, and so it kind of makes you not want to buy NFTs because NFTs kind of they get tracked off USDC price for the most part, even though they're bought in Sol. Um, that's why actually I like buying them on Soul Sniper. I don't know if you know this, but you can kind of name your SPL token to buy them off, so
I
you don't
didn't
have to
actually know
spend your
that.
yeah you can buy with USDC, you can buy with like any token you have, and I feel like to me that mentally makes me like more comfortable buying NFTs than like dropping Soul. Which I mean, if you're on Soul, if you're bullish Soul, and if you're tracking certain macroeconomics, you think that Soul's potentially going up, so you don't want to drop it on JPEGs. But I think the communities are great. The NFT communities throughout Solana are awesome. I'm in a couple. I'm not like an NFT like Maxi. I don't have like some people have thousands and sweet floors and all that. I have a few select communities that I'm a part of and a few where I like the art.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously
definitely.
now Golfin's got the NFTs too, so it's kind of come full circle.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely does. and we're going to get into golf, and that's kind of the primary focus here. But you brought up pricing NFTs and Sol, and it is a weird concept, right? And especially you see I mainly use Tensor, and on there they put the dollar charts on there so you can track it in dollars, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, as the price of Solana went down, and it was still basically, an NFT bull market was still happening that whole way down, right? Like NFTs were still going up. So I don't know where that eventually goes, but I definitely can agree with your analysis of it being like communities, right? It's almost like it's a country club, right? You own the NFT, you get the intro to it, you're in the community, and if it's something that a bunch of like-minded individuals are grouped together around, I think it makes sense. I don't think you can really do it as well with meme coins, right? So I think that there absolutely will be a comeback. When it
Mhm.
is, I don't know, and how it's going to be, what it's going to look like, I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But I think especially with high utility NFTs, like what Golfn's doing, I think that that's something that's unique, right? I think that that's something that combines like both cool technology along with a community. So I think that you guys are kind of bringing together two big aspects that is a good recipe for success.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the country club dynamic, the membership dynamic of NFTs, I think we're only just getting started there. I think you're seeing a lot of communities do that really well. But also, I was attracted to crypto in part because of this idea of like programmable money, programmable pictures. I always felt that artists had like a much better chance of getting a fair shake in crypto and digital assets and NFTs, via royalties and other things than traditional media. And so that was part of why I kind of left the traditional media space was because I saw this opportunity. Now we're still, I think, working through what that looks like with royalties, may or may not be enforced. And you kind of see some of the same kind of business tactics surface in Web3 as Web2, but I still think the opportunity is there. And I still think we're working through that. And the idea of having this like metadata and NFTs that enable you to introduce certain utilities within apps, I think is huge. And that's what Golfin's getting after.
Yeah, there's a better way to do things, and we're getting towards it, right? There's kind of like growing pains for how we're going to actually implement it. Like, what's the end? What's it going to look like in 5 years? We're not sure, but like, it definitely, like, I saw the signs of like, this is going to be better for everyone involved, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and actually, so you mentioned your history a little bit. I feel like this is relevant. We've got to bring up so like where you came from and how you got to golf, and let's start from there and hear
Mhm.
it.
Sure. Yeah. So I mentioned earlier on the pod, I joined Solana in 2021. I joined Marinade. They're like a DeFi staking
Oh yeah,
platform.
one of
So
the
I
first
was,
liquid staking tokens, right? It was
yeah,
MSOL. Yeah.
yeah, they were OGs for sure on Solana, and I was grateful to get a chance to work with them for a while. But before then, I was working at NBC Universal on Golf Channel, and so I was working in the golf industry for 15 plus years,
Wow.
as a managing editor, producer, writer, you name it, working on a lot of the digital properties. And one of the things I really enjoyed working on was the Golf Advisor brand, which introduced, a community element, ratings and reviews to golf courses. And I'm kind of like a golf course geek, so I like talking about architecture and history and golf course rankings. Like I don't know
Mhm.
about you, but I always love those like top 100 lists as a kid. Like how
Oh
many of
yeah.
these courses can I go play and all
Yeah,
that. So
definitely.
getting the chance to essentially travel the world, play golf, and talk about it for 15 plus years. Um, and then just crypto bites you. I don't know how it bit you, but you just kind of you start seeing things and you get so interested and intrigued by all the possibilities. That it was kind
Yeah.
of hard for me to kind of look at what I was doing and be as interested as what was happening with the builders in this space. So yeah, I was able to get in with Marinade on the DeFi front, and I'm still a big fan of DeFi. Love a lot of the protocols on DeFi, but as consumer apps started proliferating on Solana, and I think Solana the chain really started experiencing a lot of improvements. Really probably after the initial bull run, but 2023 there were a lot of things that came out that improved chain performance, and the developer experience too. I'm a comms guy, growth guy, so I can't speak too much to the developer experience other than it improved and was giving more and more builders an opportunity to build there. All the fees and stuff, like you can really abstract all that as an app builder, and so you just start seeing more and more apps coming on Solana. And really little did I know until about December or January. I'd say like, yeah, December 2023 is when I heard about Golfn. I was introduced to it by Gunny at Hero, who he's a big OG in the
Yeah.
space, and he's advising and invested in that. And he introduced me to the team, and I was kind of realizing like this is kind of combining the worlds that I love. I love playing golf. I've been playing since I was 8 years old. Any day that I like don't play golf, I'm like kind of mildly annoyed. It's like a
Yes, that's it.
kind of feels like a wasted day. So I enjoyed getting away from the game for 2 years because part of me wondered if I would still love it if I wasn't working in it, and I enjoyed getting the break,
Mhm.
and it made me miss it again. And then so Golfin surfaces, and I heard about this idea, and I I love golf apps and reviewing them. Comparing the Grint, 18 birdies, and all these kind of gameplay apps, and I don't know if you use any of them, but
Definitely,
um,
definitely.
they're like these nice digital caddies.
Oh, they're fantastic. The amount of data that you can get on them, like the ease of use has increased incredibly. Like it's really easy to track all of your shots and figure out like how bad you actually are, right? So but a problem with a lot of those apps is like they don't no, some of them don't really last that long. I think they're hard to kind of um, actually charge people for. So I feel like this is like a new way to kind of put it together where, especially with your background, you're combining, crypto and NFTs and all this technology together where it's like, all right, this might actually be the better way to do it, right?
Well, just to go back to these apps, and even going back to my time at Golf Advisor, I felt like the real key element that was missing from really having this like incredible experience was the user incentives to engage.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know, where we were at Golf Advisors, you played a tee time, and we would ask you to write a review like in a post interaction email. So that's where a lot of the reviews came from. And then we would also kind of nag people on social and other places. And we created some cool products to get people engaged and reviewing courses all over the world. And um, we even had like our own rankings that we were like, this is like the people's ranking kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I never felt like the engagement was, I felt like the incentives to engage was never right. Um, it kind of felt too much like a one-way street from like the big company getting you to engage with us. So, we do a lot of surprise and delights and marketing activations and things like that. But then you think about crypto, it's all about incentives,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's all about community. You build with the community first. Um,
Yeah.
you build in public, and the introduction of a point systems or tokens into your contributions to me opens up the door to really build that killer golf app that we've been waiting for, that has awesome tech, but then it's also got all the great golf community elements in it, and you're incentivized accordingly for the information that you contribute to the app, whether it's writing a review or uploading a photo, catching a bug. Like to have a great golf app, it can't just be like a core team, because things are always changing on a golf
Yeah.
course. They take out a hole, or they add a new set of tees, or they rename it, or they close it. And it's like we can't do all that alone. So you
Yeah.
want the community to contribute the updates for you on top of your core team. And I want to be able to get the alpha, like to be able to see what the course conditions are at a golf course. As like a journalist, I can go review a course, or as a course rater, I can go review a course, and I'm essentially like assuming perfection when I do so. Like a lot of the times, these courses will have the media out like shoulder season, preseason, and you're just kind of asked to like, okay, I assume this is like a great place because they have like a huge budget. And I just kind of have to do I have to jump to conclusions that this place is like incredible in July.
Yeah.
But the community can like play it on August 1st and tell you exactly what the experience was. They can play it on in July, September. You can see the evolution, and like the community is going to be the best to do it, not like a media person.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and as a player, like, and if I want to go play the course, I want to see I want to see what the latest reviews are. I want to see the most up-to-date, most recent review. I don't want to be playing a course based off a review 5 years
Mhm.
ago when a course was first open, right? It's almost like the Google Maps car driving around mapping. Like it's not always the most accurate, but it's a lot more accurate than just like taking one image, from 10 years ago and using that. Like yet the
Mhm.
more up to date, the more people are playing. And if you're playing a course all the time, and you probably want people to know, other people to know how it is, or if you're a member at a course, that's going to help kind of promote your course that like, yeah, look, they aerated the greens, expect this, or this is why these changes were made, and it's better off for you, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, also if I want to drop the alpha though, like let's say I've got a hidden gem I know about, it's $40, no one knows about it.
yeah,
Do I want to tell you about that?
yeah, that's
Do I
true.
want this place to get popular? If I'm
That's
gonna, I want to get like some social clout for it. I,
yeah,
I want to be
yeah,
known as like
fair.
the guy. Like this guy spotted, Northwood before anybody else, or this guy, like I got a spot in Austin. I'll drop the golf alpha here, but Delaware Springs outside of Austin, like that's my jam. It's like a little
Uh,
too far to get to, for like a local round, but I try and go there once a year because it's just phenomenal for the money.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, like I'll give you alpha, but like what am I getting here? And if I can get some social credit, if I can get XP points, if I get acknowledgement within the app and I'm getting incentivized accordingly, I'm gonna want to drop more alpha about golf.
yeah. Well, and let's say that your alpha was extremely good alpha, and I saw it. Like I'm thankful to you, but like you can't normally show that. Like, is that something that's going to be in the app? Like, all right, he's recommended two amazing courses. Like, I've got to give him props for that, and that works into something, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
yeah, I think really the idea here is if I contribute content that gets good engagement, like I'm rewarded for that engagement. So like we want to make sure maybe it's a little bit like drip in a way. I know that drip house,
Yeah,
you've got to droplets.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like kind of a similar thing where I want to thank you for your content, whether it's a photo. Another cool thing about the app is if you want, you can create your own community. So the monkeys could have their own community, or Drip House could have their own community, or some random influencer could do it, or Bonk or whoever. Like you can create these like customized, like kind of gated communities of golfers from within your community, and
So
creating
cool.
those types of things and getting those going are hugely valuable to the app and to the community. So of course we're gonna reward the heck out of you for that.
Yeah, I love that there's such like a good focus on like the social aspect of golf and like bringing different communities in because I mean that was I feel like that's huge, right? Like, so I use the Grint app, and the reason why I do that is because a bunch of guys that I went to high school with are on it too. So I know that if I get a good round, they're gonna see it and they're gonna say something on there. I feel like that's what brings me back to it. And I mean, it's a good app, right? Like it has everything I need, but like when I think of why I choose that over others, it's like, all right, well, I want to make sure that these guys see if I have a good round. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm fully aware of the talk and jive to your friends on those
Oh yeah.
apps. Like you get
Yeah.
those like live alerts, and yeah, that's something that the Golfn app is leaning into as well. And just to kind of get the basics down, like it's being built, it's in like a closed like internal beta right now for the team. So we're building it now. Community beta um should be in Q4, and then the public is early 2025. So looking before the Masters. That's the Masters, for those of you who don't follow golf, is like really the kind of kickoff to golf season for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's kind of when the courses up north are kind of dried out and good to go. So we want to be on the ground running by then. But yeah, so the idea of just having something that's super interactive is something that we're building a lot. So, we want you to be able to kind of see like live how the scores are coming in. We want those push notifications to happen. You can actually go into the app now and like you can kind of like see people like on the course. So if like I'm playing
Oh, really?
a hole, you'll actually go see my bandito. Like if you go to like the third hole at
Huh.
Lions, you can like see
You'll
the bandito. Yeah.
see your progress.
So yeah, we were talking like it'd be awesome for like junior golf events if grandpa can't make it. Um I can like open up the app and see you walking down the fairway and I can see the scores get plugged in.
Oh yeah.
I think you'd have to like make sure that the scoring agencies are okay with that. But in a more like casual realm, like our buddies trip, like let's say you couldn't make the buddies trip or some guys are playing golf and you can't be there, you can like check in on the exact status of the match like in real time.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
almost like create your own community, like for the golf group. Everyone's in it, and then if whoever can't make it, give them the invite too. Then kind of watch the progress, and
big time.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all got FOMO. Like when our buddies go play, it like makes us so mad, but we gotta see how they're doing.
Yeah, that's a big part of it, right?
Yep.
Sounds good. So app coming early 2025, community coming 2024, but you guys have already launched the NFTs. There was it started with the Genesis, and then that was like a pack, and then you open up that pack, and then you get clubs within the pack. And those are a separate NFT. You want to kind of explain that probably better than I
Sure.
just did.
Yeah, yeah. We should talk about exactly how we're rewarding people within the app because it introduces this kind of collectible card game component into a golf app that um I think for people who play like, I've heard of like Fortnite comparisons or like even like Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, where, by playing cards within an app, you're gaining more points when you play. So yeah, the NFT collection was launched spring of 2024.
Mhm.
And you're right. It was a four soul pack drop. So you could buy packs and it minted
Mhm.
out, it sold out, which was awesome given the state of kind of NFTs this year. Um, so yeah, you bought packs, and then we had this really cool like interactive pack opening experience where you got to like kind of see your cards revealed in this kind of like immersive digital experience that people really were happy with. And so the Genesis pack, it features various rarities and attributes within the packs. And so like the legendaries and like the one of one have kind of like more XP power. And then we've got like the epics, the rares, uncommons, and commons. And kind of as you go down, it has, less points multipliers. But the key now is that you want to collect sets that you can cash. And it's kind of like soft staking. But if I'm able to collect like the uncommon putters or the epic winters, I can cash them and start earning XP already. So by the time the app is live, I've already got like a ton of points that I can use in the app. And really these points are going to be for a variety of items. Like you can redeem them for, stuff in our pro shop. You can redeem them for like certain membership tiers, raffles, spin the wheel type stuff. We're really like building this whole like huge ecosystem. um, we're actually really excited. We're gonna be having some raffles coming out soon, and auctions for like awesome golf trips. So you can use your points on that. So if you haven't like started collecting those sets yet, you're not really gonna have any opportunity to enter those with size. But if you've been collecting points, there's like some significant golf gifts that are coming our way. So
So I need to
um
start. So I need to start collecting points because I open one and I have the NFTs and they're just sitting in my wallet. So I am not being very interactive. I'm not being
yeah.
a good community member, but I blame it on having kids and I haven't been golfing at all. So I've been out of the loop. So if I'm coming
Mhm.
back, you said you called it caching your
Caching, yeah.
caching NFTs. So probably go to the site and is it similar to just like staking where we put
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It's actually a really cool experience the devs made for us. It's called the caching portal. And if you connect your wallet to it, it tells you exactly what you need to complete a set. And it
Okay.
provides links to Tensor and Magic Eden directly. And it tells you what the
Okay.
price is. So you can go to the commons. Like chances are the commons are going to be the easiest to fill.
Yeah.
I think you can get a common set for maybe 1.5 to 2 Sol. and then you kind of get up to the epics and the rares, and that's you're maybe looking at 10, 20, 30 soul per pack, and then you cash and really all caching is it's like a soft staking mechanism that is like acknowledging that you have it in your wallet, but you retain full custody at all times. So
Okay.
it's still in your wallet. You can still kind of flex it in your wallet. And then what you'll do is when the app is live, is you play those cards before you're around. And each of these cards have certain attributes in them. So I'll give you an example. There's six attributes total, and one of them, let's say scorecard sage is one of the attributes. And really what that means is if you play the scorecard sage card in the app and then you use the scorecard in the app, you get those multipliers. There's also one
Okay.
called like off peak prodigy where like if you play like we're busy dads, if you go play it like Monday at 1 o'clock, and use the app and play that card, then you're gonna get multipliers for doing that. And
For
there's
play
like
for playing off peak. That's
yeah, and like
I
camaraderie attribute, that's like if I play with friends who also use the app, then I get multipliers there. Um, we have like all the advanced analytics. So like let's say I'm like a total geek with my golf game. I want to know fairways, putts, greens, all that. Like if I'm tracking that in the app, then I get multipliers on that as well. So there's like a little bit of strategy you want to think about when you're collecting these cards. Like, okay, what kind of golfer do I think I'll be? If I'm busy dad, or if I need to play fast, there's also like a fast attribute. So like maybe I should collect those attributes, versus others. So it's something to think about. Like the Discord community's been pretty funny to kind of watch them like trading cards already and
oh yeah.
collecting their sets that way. So yeah, there's people who are like, I would argue 10 times deeper in it than I am. Like they're like
Yeah.
they're checking the floors every day. They're like analyzing everyone's wallets and stuff. Like they'll come to
They've already
me like,
developed strategies and
yeah,
everything behind it. Yeah.
they like know the cards I have and are like
Yeah.
talking to me about, hey man, would you be willing to give up this epic? Like, wait, what? I have that? So yeah,
Uh,
it's a cool thing. So yeah, that you can still buy the packs. There are still some packs available in the Genesis on resale.
yeah.
I'd have to check the floor, but the floor's been holding up pretty nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say I just looked at it and it was 3 or 4, 3.5 or so. I should probably get a better
Yeah, I mean,
read
compared to
on
what
that.
Sol's been doing, I mean, I think I was kvetching a little in the open about NFTs being priced in Sol versus USD. I mean, the Sol what the Sol price has done and to still maintain like a decent Sol floor price is a good sign.
Oh, definitely.
But I think it
Definitely.
comes down
Yeah.
to I think it comes down to utility. Like I have a huge amount of respect for all these NFT projects in the ecosystem that are building utility. Like the first one that always comes to mind for me is the famous Fox Foundation.
Oh, me too. They're my favorite. They were the first Discord that
Mhm.
I got into, and it actually made sense. Like I worked at a software company at the time, and I could get a hold of the Foxy dev quicker than I could a developer at my company. Like he was in there, built all like the original, like really cool tools for NFTs because there was no tooling for NFTs when we first got started. So yeah, the utility there and I still send my foxes on missions every week, and I love it. Like it's gamified, it's fun, it's clean. I'm not like within the community too much, but like I'm comfortable holding my foxes.
Yeah. I got to see those guys at Singapore. They did a little meetup. So
Oh, really? Oh, awesome.
yeah, they're awesome. Huge fan, I think, of just introducing innovation and utility. And it's the whole like not just a JPEG meme,
Yeah.
proving that over and over again. And they're one of the best ones. But I think also being able to use NFTs within an app, having the app mean something or having the NFT mean something within an app, membership type stuff too. I think I'm actually really surprised socially that I know Instagram and Meta they were looking at like NFT PFPs. To me, that made a lot of sense. You think from like a retail perspective, like if I'm Gap or something, and I like you're like flexing one of our PFPs, like I want to give you the discounts.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked Web 2 hasn't gone there yet. They seem to kind of have their pinky toe in the water and then they kind of pull out. Um, but like
Like
I
it's hard, especially in the US because crypto just gets such a bad rap, right? Like things will go good and then all of a sudden the biggest exchange will just blow up, and everyone will go to jail.
yeah,
It, it's crazy.
so PFPs are a flex though, and like
Yeah,
in
no, they
this
are.
in the world we live in, it's like awesome to have a monk
Oh
or
yeah.
you got a quack now, don't you?
Yeah, I got the
Yeah.
Quack now.
Nice. Yeah, those are
Custom
cool too.
Quack. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I've got a quack. When they came out with that like the transfer, I did that.
Oh, did you?
So it's like
You
sitting.
migrated to the when standard, WNS standard?
Yeah, I don't know why I did it. It just said to do it, so I did it and didn't get rugged on it. So I'm not sure
There
what to
you
do with my
go.
quack. I got to check in on the quacks, but
Check it on Telegram. They don't do anything on Discord.
mm,
And the ultimate alpha is when you have 20 of them, you get into the noble group, and that's like I don't know, it's a lot of the Bonk founders and uh Nom's in there, bunch of really cool guys are in there. It's like the chat that I go to the most, and that I feel like everyone is way smarter than me.
yeah, it's easy to find around here.
Yeah.
That for sure. Noted
Yeah.
20. I need 19 more then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get a custom quick when you get 20. So mine's actually created that to look in the style of my SMB. So
Yeah, yeah, it does have that nice little mashup to it. I like it.
yeah. Yeah. Sorry to derail onto the quick conversation. I just it's like I feel like there's like a few NFTs that like I am never getting rid of, and it's like the Quecks, the SMBs, I have a bunch of the Gen 3 and the Foxes, and obviously Golfin now too. It's hard to get into like that level, right? Because either you need some sort of utility where you're building something out and you need to use the NFT in a way, or you need that community around it. And you guys seem to have a pretty good community actually in the Discord too. So it's like building. You can't just focus on tech or community. It really has to be both. Like it's got to be the combination, building it together, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's everything in Web3, and you're kind of talking about how easy it is for you to get a hold of people. I always think about, I was working at like NBC Comcast for a long time. Like how often do you think I got a chance to talk to the CEO there? Like
Oh yeah,
never.
like a couple times maybe,
But then
right?
like pretty much like Tolly like replies anytime I'm like in his mentions, or like
Yeah.
these other guys. Like, it's like really easy to get a hold of people in crypto. It's like so beautiful and it's so transparent. Everyone is like, I think very if like you're building in public and showing like an honest effort, like people are very pleased to give their feedback.
Oh yeah.
And so like we're like really excited to give the app to the community very very soon, so they can like get in and start using it. Like they're asking us when every day, which
Oh yeah.
I'm
That
like
was gonna
a
be one of my questions for sure.
yeah,
What's gonna be when?
when.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you got to feed the when boys though. That's
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
you got to feed them, and because they're gonna provide great feedback, um, really qualified feedback,
They're gonna be your super users essentially, right?
big time. Yeah, especially a lot of these guys have more cards cash than I do.
Yeah.
So like they're very invested. So yeah, we want to, especially the ones like, what's interesting is some of them aren't like huge golfers. They're in it more for the collectible component.
Hmm.
Others are like big golfers. I think what's kind of interesting is that, as you probably know, golf has this kind of this prestige or cachet worldwide. So like you go over to like Asia, a lot harder to play over there, but everyone like wants to like say that they're a golfer. Like there's always like these stories in China of like people like buy like golf clubs and like go to fancy courses and join clubs, and they just go out and like walk around and don't even hit shots.
Oh really? I didn't know that. That sounds wild to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, like so like there is this like desire worldwide to like flex that you're a golfer, that you're like in the community. And so
Yeah.
we're even starting to see that where someone might be living abroad, doesn't have a golf course within 200 miles, but like they know golf is cool. They know about Tiger, they know about the culture. I mean, even like the YouTube golfers now, they're bringing this whole new element that's
Oh
making
yeah.
golf cool again. So it's like whether or not I play on a golf course or on a simulator or on a video game, I know that I want to be part of like a golf community because golf is like awesome. And so
Yeah.
we're seeing that. So yeah, there's the app that people are going to use every day, but then we also want the people who aren't playing golf to know that they can engage there too. and talk about golf there and share videos and photos and all that. So that's really what we're building towards. We want it to be a full ecosystem for anybody who is engaged, whether or not they're playing like a green grass course or not. Like if you check in at a golf shop, or maybe even if you're watching a certain video, we want you to be able to like check in and engage and earn points through the app that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny. It's when I hear that, I'm like the opposite of what you're explaining there. It's like I don't have the best golf clubs. You know, I've got a set that works, and you know, I don't like post about my golfing all the time, but I am dreaming of being on the golf course every day, and I'll just go play. You know, I don't hit the range anymore. I don't have time for that. I barely even putt before. I get a couple swings on, and
Mhm.
I'm out there. I'm playing. So that's
We
funny
yeah,
to me.
we gotta like tokenize your ambitions of golf,
Yeah, yeah.
your internal dreams
Yeah.
tokenized.
Yeah. Maybe this is going to be what actually gets me, you know, more involved in the golf community, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get you out there. I know that you got a new kid, and I feel your pain. I've got three pretty small kids, so it's
Time is a
I've had more
luxury.
free time in my life. Let's put it that way. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the hope though is to get them interested in golf, and they get playing too. And
That is the dream.
um,
That is I'm doing everything I can in my power to make that work.
yeah.
They've got little plastic golf sets. Hard to get kids to focus on one thing and not move around and not hit you with a golf club.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I took my kids to the range early this year, and like the first swing, one of them like hit the other in the
Yeah.
jaw.
Yeah.
Just a dad fail. But
Yeah.
to bring this back to digital assets, though, kids are totally into NFTs and digital
Oh yeah.
assets. Like my oldest is 8, and like we bought a Claynosaur together, and
Oh no way.
he's like made NFTs that we've minted. So go buy it on if you see it out there. But yeah, so they're going to be into the whole digital community space. I think
Yeah.
more than we could even imagine, because that's just kind of going to be how they grow up and engage with things. And we're seeing that to a degree now, and it'll proliferate, I think.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. That's something I always forget is like, you know, I'm almost 40, so you know, I didn't we grew up and we had like AOL when we were in high school. You know, like there wasn't that much where a lot of these kids, you know, before they're going to kindergarten, they already know more about the internet than I do, right? So I mean, that's only going to keep growing. And I mean, if you're going to get into golf, you're going to get into, I mean, how many different apps are there? And feel like the information in golf now is amazing too. Like you can go on YouTube and fix your golf swing now, where it's like we used to have to like watch, you know, golf rounds, and in between there would be like ads with maybe like a little hint on how to hit a better shot. But now it's like the information's out there. Like if you have a problem, you can look at Tiger Woods hitting a driver, right? You know, it's amazing.
It is just the engagement level, the statistics too. I
Oh yeah.
mean, not
Yeah.
only is it like every golf pro is like hustling on TikTok now and doing like online lessons, and
Yeah.
so all that information is very available. The ability to shot track too. We're gonna be able to enable shot tracking within the Golfn app. So like I know
Oh
where
no
I hit
way,
all my shots.
like with your camera? Like talking
Well,
about phone camera and
the
do
the technology exists to essentially pick up shots. And we
yeah.
can kind of have like your breadcrumbs follow you around the course and identify to a pretty good accuracy like where your shots are. And then if you need to like kind of add clubs to it, or add a shot here and there, you'll be able to do it. But like the stats that you're able to pull out, like it's like consumers have access to such incredible stats now. Um, and it's all like organized nicely in the app so that you can kind of consume it and look at it and analyze it and see where you need to improve. And then you can take that data and bring it to like your TikTok instructor or wherever they are, and talk about it and talk
Yeah.
about game management, you know, as well as your swing. Like you can show your instructor what's been happening in the round, and then they could be like, well, why are you hitting driver there? Like, what are you
Yeah.
thinking? You know,
That's kind of the fun of it though. Okay, so like one of my favorite parts about golfing is like you get like immediate feedback on your thought process, right? Like when you make a stupid decision on the golf course, you just hit a bad shot, right? Like you kind of realize that over time. And like, you know, I played golf in high school and I think back to how I used to play and I was like, what was I thinking? Like I was, you know, probably, you know, just as good, you know, my swing was great, everything, but like the mentality wasn't there, right? Where now it's like I'm a little bit older and it's like, all right, you just play a little bit more conservative and hit the shot you know you can hit. You play way better, you know? So it's
Yeah.
uh it's that's my favorite part about
Yeah.
golf is like getting out and just like unplugging and just like challenging myself, right?
The mentality is a bit like trading, isn't it? Like the mid curve, left curve, right curve. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of the same to me where it's like you either need to be like completely checked out and like playing for absolute fun and not thinking at all, and you're playing well,
yeah.
or you're like a professional dialed in with your processes and like, like totally dialed in on the right side. But like when you're kind of like in the middle, that's when
Oh man.
that's when
It's
the
the
blow up holes happen, and you really like have to commit to your pre-shot routine, and it is like it's a game that you can never really master.
yeah.
I've been playing since I was 8 years old, and people think, I think my kids think I should be better. Like
Yeah.
they'll see me top a shot once in a while. Like, why? How long have you been playing for? Well, look, it's it's not that easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely is tough, but it's like what knowing that and understanding that, we're not going to be professionals, we're going to have some bad shots. It's like, all right, it's actually not, am I going to hit a bad shot or not? It's like, all right, how did you recover from that bad shot? Did
Mhm.
that one bad shot lead you into five more, or did you turn it around and, save a bogey, right?
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of
there's,
parallels with trading. I'm hearing here,
oh
like you make
yeah,
a bad
yeah,
trade, don't compound it by like doubling down,
yeah.
Have your entries and exits. I
Yeah,
feel like we need to have like a whole like course on like the golf and trading mentality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it really comes down like if you have a clear mind and you're not like so caught up in the moment, like you, I mean, it works for trading, it works for golf, but it like probably works out a lot better in life, right? When you're able to actually like make clear decisions, not like be so focused on like, all right, I need to get it back. It's like, no, no, no. This is a new shot. This is a whole new trade. Previous trade doesn't matter. Let's set ourselves up for another win and go
Yeah.
from there, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Easier
how
said than
can you
done.
do that? Yeah, how can you do that when these meme coins are ripping, 1,000x in a day? I
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe like, yeah, maybe the meme coin analogy is like going for that tucked pin next to water, or
Oh yeah,
trying to drive it over the water 300
driving the green.
yards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I'll also say that I think like I would encourage really anybody listening on Solana to hopefully just try the sport out. It can be very therapeutic, especially when you pair like walking with it, getting outside.
oh yeah,
I think we talk about mental health a lot in crypto because it can suck you in. Golf, it has the sunlight that you need, it has the walking that you need. It hopefully has the social element. And I'll just add to anybody listening who's not really played much golf, like you can just get paired up with people, and like 99% of the time it's a blast.
oh yeah, yeah.
It's you meet people like crazy. It's like the best. Everyone just kind of is the same. And if you're new, like as long as you're not super slow, like just kind of hang pace with the group. Um, laugh yourself off. Don't like say, "Oh, I'm so bad, I'm so terrible." Just like kind of laugh it off. We all know that golf is impossible, and 98% of us are terrible.
Yeah,
Just have
yeah,
fun out there. Like it's like the best way to just kind of like have a hang with people. I,
yeah.
I really mean that, and I hope more and more young people who seem to be taking to the sport and seeing this. But I would encourage anyone who hasn't done it yet to give it a try.
Yeah, I'd say on top of that, it's when you're on the golf course, it's almost like the mindset of vacation, right? Like you're out there for leisure. You're out there to spend a couple hours. You're gonna be outside, and even when I take a golf cart, I still get over 5,000 steps on the golf course. I'm extremely hooked on the Moonwalk app, and I get my 10,000 steps most days. But even when I'm not walking the golf course, like I'm still getting an amazing amount of steps and I'm having fun doing it too. So
Big time. I'll plug
yeah.
Moonwalk too. We're doing a campaign. Is this gonna publish like shortly after we talk?
Probably within the next week.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have we have two more moonwalk competitions coming up within the Golfin community. So if you have one card, you don't need to cash a set. If you have one card, you can enter the game and it's a sponsored game on Moonwalk. So
Oh, no way.
game three, we're gonna be taking it up a notch beyond 10,000 steps. We already did like our 5,000 steps and our 10,000.
Oh,
So
you
now,
going progressively up each
yeah,
time?
we're gonna see who the diehards are out there. You might need to put the golf cart away and walk.
I need to walk. Yeah, which is great. It's fun to walk. I actually play way better when I'm walking because I'm so lazy that I don't want to have to go chase my ball. So I like take that extra second to think like, all right, I don't want to go over there. That seems like a really long walk. I'm gonna go right in the middle.
Well, no, there's absolutely something to playing better walking. As long as you're like pretty fit and it's not like 100 degrees out. But you actually are able to process shots as you're walking up to your golf ball, whereas in a cart, you really can't do that.
Almost
Um,
like meditating, like
yeah,
prepping for that next shot the whole
uh,
way up rather than just like driving.
100%, 100%. So, um, I try to walk when I can. I think it's very therapeutic. And even the munis, we can bring our dogs to it. So I can,
Can you really?
yeah, so I can like, put my dog on a leash and feel like less guilt that I'm playing golf because I'm walking the dog.
You're walking the dog, yeah. You're walking the dog and you're golfing to earn as well.
Yeah, you
A
got it.
little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
I'm getting points. I'm walking the dog. As a dad, we got to stay fit. We got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves because like, when you get sick as a dad, like
Oh yeah,
it's not like you could take the day off.
yeah.
Um, it's like your wife's gonna be like, okay, you're sick and
Yeah, the way it works is your kids will come home, they will be, they'll be sick and they'll recover in a day. But once they're done being sick and they're feeling good and want to run around the whole time, then you get sick for the next week,
Yep.
you know? Yeah. And yeah, there's no sick days, you know?
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but we gotta stay healthy. We gotta
Yeah.
and we gotta make time for ourselves too and unplug. And that's just mentally. You gotta
Yeah.
be able to set time for yourself, even if it's just 9 holes or going to hit a bucket of balls, going to hit some putts after dinner. Those are all things that I think can help reset your mind a little bit.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. The best part about the golf course that I play the most is there's no service on half the holes. So I can't check anything if I want to, so I'm
Nice.
forced to take a little bit of a break. And it definitely is like I need a break. I need to clear my head, and I just come back. Most of the time after, I just feel like, all right, let's get back to it. I'm back in that mindset. Let's get to it. Um,
Nice.
which
And I'll add like with the Golfin app, it's designed so that you can kind of use it as little or as much as you want and still kind of earn your points. So as long as you like start your round and have your clubs like loaded in, um, there are some people who don't want to take their phone out at all and just kind of vibe. And we're
that was
building for
gonna
that use case too, because like that's kind of how our founders want to play too, is they don't want to like be glued to their phone and be getting their push notifications and all that.
that was actually gonna
So
be one of my questions was like how involved is it going? Or I guess you just answered it's gonna be
yeah,
as
well, so we,
involved
we
as you
can kind of like
want.
geofence it. So like we can the whole we're gonna know if you're there
Uh-huh.
based on geolocation.
Yeah.
And we're even kind of designing for these use cases of there's a lot of golf courses that are in a remote area where the GPS doesn't necessarily always work. So we're building for that use case as
Yeah.
well. Um, but yeah, the geolocation will enable us to know that you're there and we know that you're playing and we can kind of like use time and various things to understand like that you're actually there and not just like gaming the system from some island and you're like farming points. So like we know how to do that
Yeah.
um to make sure that it's like legit rounds. Um but yeah, we know that I like to keep score, especially like if I'm playing with friends, we want to like do a skins game or something. And so we'll
Oh
use
yeah.
the app to like calculate our handicap and play skins or match or however we want to do um and all that. So yeah, I think it'll be as kind of as immersive or as like light touch as you want. Um Obviously, like engaging in the app after the rounds or like between rounds, kind of helps your engagement scores and XP and all that. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, we want like the core team is like very much like big golfers. Like they're big into crypto, but they're also big golfers, and they want to make sure that this is like an experience that like anybody at their country club would use. Um,
Yeah.
like any OG golfer, like I think our early users will be kind of more crypto focused just because that's where we're building. And I was actually like really excited to see how many people reached out to me when I like was kind of curious like how many golfers are on Solana or the ecosystem. I got like tons of replies, tons of DMs.
Hmm.
So there's already like a huge user base that we can tap into. And then
Yeah.
as we build the app to be as good, if not better, than the existing apps, then we can, tap into the broader market.
Yeah, yeah. One of the questions I was thinking about is like how is it going talking to people that aren't in crypto? Because a lot of my like close golfer friends, like they're pretty degenerate at the start, right? Like they're gambling on sports while they're playing, like they're pretty tapped into that. So it seems like it wouldn't be like that far out of the normal, right? Like a lot of them, know about crypto. They're not necessarily in the ecosystem using it every day. But I'm wondering kind of like how that experience talking to people that aren't in crypto. It seems like you have a pretty good way of talking about what you guys are building. So I think that that makes it easier, but I wonder how
Yeah.
your experience has been.
Yeah. I think for now we're talking more to our kind of crypto native audience and letting people know what
Yeah.
we're building. And then as the app is ready for launch, that's when I think we are confident in the app being as good as anything. And then I feel like our selling point should be really good because an app that you can use for free.
Yeah.
And all these like grants and 18 birdies and Arcos, et cetera, they have membership fees. And we're introducing something to them, like strip away the collectible components, all that. It's it's going to be an experience that they can use that is free to them and hopefully more engaging and all that. We don't want to say at this time. I think we're going to kind of talk more about collectibles and earning points and not like the NFT stuff. Everything's being designed so that it's like a very seamless UX. I don't need a Phantom wallet to get in and things like that. So I think a lot of the messaging is frankly just the app flow
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the
Well, if
experience
it's,
there.
yeah, I guess that it competes on its own as an app versus the top products. And it also has this collectible aspect as well on top. I mean, that seems like a pretty
Mhm.
no-brainer to me. But
Yeah. But I think also having the games, like if we have the games that golfers want to play, if if the tech is just better, it'll get a lot of word of mouth.
oh yeah,
Um, and obviously like through these raffles and giveaways and things that we'll be doing with the points, that presumably creates a big opportunity for, getting the word out as well. Because like these other apps, they don't really give you anything for like, has the Grin ever given you anything? Like I've been on the
no,
Grin forever.
no. I actually don't even pay for it anymore. I think I used to pay, and they would calculate my handicap, but I stopped paying a while back, and I don't even know the full extent of what I can get or what I can't get. So it's just I enter my scorecards.
Yeah. So the model, the whole Web3 model of like the users getting like access to rewards and incentives, it kind of sounds too good to be true to a lot of Web2 people. So I think we're gonna have to
Yeah,
like kind of drive home the point that like this is happening because the models are different in Web3 and we're able to do different things.
yeah,
Um, and I think for Web2 people it'll be a stretch at first. They say, well, what's the catch? Kind of thing. And
yeah, yeah,
we have to explain to them that through Web3 we're able to introduce all these kind of cool gamified mechanisms and ownership of your points and things like that, so that you can just have just feel like a more immersive, interactive experience, and we're going to make sure that you're taken care of for that. And there's a whole like kind of biz dev thing I can go down as to how we make that happen. But the model is there. The sustainability of the app is there, and that's something that they focused on from the very start. I joined in kind of like a wave two, so we had the founders, and then I joined, as I mentioned, kind of shortly after, and we've
mhm,
been just making sure that this is a rewards model that is really sustainable as the app grows, and we're going to make sure that it's kind of a no brainer to want to join if you're playing golf and using these apps. It's gonna basically let you play more golf, get more fill up on golf balls, on ammo, and all that. Get you better stats,
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, well, and I feel like the other side of that too is like if you're in crypto and you have the NFTs, you're in the community, it's like you feel like you have like you're part of it, right? Like you almost like have ownership in it. You can affect it, you can help it, and help grow with it, right? So I feel like I guess that's kind of like the part of Web3 that I like the most is like it's not as much like the company and me. I'm not just using the product. I am part of the product, and they're listening, and there's a feedback loop. There isn't any walls between the owner and a worker there or somebody that's using the app, right? They can all meet together, and that's what the community is. I just think it's a better model, right?
Agreed. Agreed. And I'm excited for not just Golfin, but I'm excited for Web3 versions of all kinds of consumer apps that tap into that and allow me to feel more of just feel like I have a bigger stake in it, and I know that I'm being heard, and kind of being taken care of for using it, and just kind of stripping out all the kind of Web2 nonsense that goes into a lot of the marketing. And um it's just everything just kind of comes out way more authentic in this space when it's done right.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked a lot about points. We've got the NFTs now. Like, what is the way that people are? It is golf to earn, right? So, like, what is the way that they're going to actually be earning? Like, is this a token, or are these points like convertible at the end, or is it like what? How does that work? Because
Yeah,
I'm sure
so
that you guys have thought a ton about you talked about incentivizing and talked about how you're going to do it, but like, what does that look like to a user, I guess?
so within the app it's all points based,
Uh-huh.
for a variety of reasons. We do have a foundation partner called
Okay.
Axiom,
Yeah.
and they're building this big sporting ecosystem of projects, and we're the first partner to join them. And so they're minting the golf token.
Okay.
And as part of the partnership, Golfin is going to have access to that token. And so when I'm like earning the points within the app, I can redeem those points within the app for things like raffles, experiences, merch, all that stuff, or I can export them to the Axiom golf token, and that's not minted yet. The TGE's um, TBD, but Axiom is basically like a broader ecosystem of governance and sporting products that's being built that
Okay.
will so if like you wanted to export the XP to golf at one point, you can. So that's kind of I can kind of go into the design of all that, and why that's the model a lot deeper, but I'll just kind of leave it like that's everything within the app is points, and then you export into um, the broader ecosystem through the token. So
Okay.
we're
Okay.
kind of
But
excited to share more there.
yeah, and with the points though, you're able to participate in like the raffles, and like maybe I could buy one of those cool hats that you're wearing with points one day, which I'll need to.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, like community events, tournaments. There's like a whole menu of things that we want to have available in the app to use your points. So we want to make sure that people are using these points as much as they can.
Yeah.
And it's on the biz dev team to essentially introduce experiences, merchandise within the app to make sure people want to collect the points to make sure that the points have merit to them. Um, so I'm incentivized to engage as much as I can
Mhm.
within the app.
Yeah, that sounds good. Another thing that I was thinking about, so like when you guys are building this business, right? I mentioned before that, a lot of like the traditional like Web2 golf apps, like I feel like a lot of them have struggled and they haven't been able to make money. And the way that they do is they typically charge users, right? So like how does Golfin make money? I guess would be the question that I have. Like, is that from the original mint that you guys just hold that in the treasury, or what? How does that look?
I would think of it more as like a B2B
Uh-huh.
um, play, and how the revenue is going to come in. Like we kind of want the user to, they can obviously collect the NFTs and kind of go down the rabbit hole there.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you're buying our products that way. But um, there's like this whole element of kind of B2B monetization that we can tap into that we think is a lot stronger than kind of nickel and diming people to use the app. Um,
So is that B2B like you guys working on deals with the specific golf courses, with golf brands, or all of that, or how's that?
Yeah, I think equipment, golf course operators, resorts,
Uh-huh.
even like if you scale hard enough, you can really kind of tap into really any industry.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that our audience is going to be very valuable to these people. So I think we can monetize it in a variety of ways that way. So yeah, I think we don't want the user, we want the user to feel like they can come use it, use like a really good version of the app with like kind of industry leading features for nothing. And on the other side of it is kind of where we handle the bean counting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And when you're talking about how, your users will be valuable to them, I feel like crypto users that are already are like very like a highly sought after group of people because not only do a lot of them have a lot of money, but a lot of them are spending that money on the internet, right? Like that's like what they're doing. So
It's the
you
good and the
you
bad,
got
right? You kind of forget what this stuff's worth.
yeah, yeah. But I mean it seems like a highly desirable group to have. Right. So it's almost like all right, we want to be in contact with Golfn because a lot of them, are going to be golfing. Here's how many rounds, their communities played. Here's all the reviews. We want our course reviewed. Like it seems like a win-win, right?
Yeah, yeah. The golf demographic
In general, I
is
guess it's good.
yeah, the golf demographic is like one of the most coveted demographics like in marketing, bar
Yeah.
none.
Yeah.
That's why you see like if you're ever watching like Golf Channel, the advertisements are like marketing to like CEOs,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Rolex and
like HR companies or like like
yeah.
they know that even if the audience isn't as big as NFL, they know who's watching is like very influential. And like
Yeah.
to think about like the resort element, I think about, you know, there was this resort owner who told me once, like, yeah, we've got the tennis program and the golf program, but like when the tennis people come, they like play tennis and go home. But like when the golfers stay here, they spend so much more money.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Like
if you go on a
uh,
golf trip, you're showing up for 3 days. You might golf 1 or 2 rounds a day. You're, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner there, going out at night,
yeah.
having a bunch of drinks. So yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, it's just it's a lifestyle that um it's people when they play golf, they're buying the merch, they're doing everything. So it's I mean that's kind of part of what makes it attractive is it's a very kind of like very kind of it kind of sets you up just kind of want to be there and engage with it as best you can, whether it's clothing or just playing more or traveling. Like I was always a big golf traveler, going to resorts and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to spend money in golf, and I think a lot of the smart businesses know that, like Rolex.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'm probably not personally the one that they should be marketing to because I have 10-year-old golf clubs and just play the local course because it's cheap during the week.
Wait till you're retired. Wait till the kids grow up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have a lot of plans for what I'm going to do with my free time when I have some.
Don't we all?
Sounds good. All right. So what else do we need to know about Golfin? Let's see. We've got app coming out. Sounds like we can get some points right now. I need to get staking mine. Seems like good vibes in the community. Like, what else do our listeners need to know?
Yeah, I would say really excited to be building on the Solana ecosystem too with the NFTs and everything that's happening there. Really excited for that. I think just keep an eye out for these raffles, these giveaways, keep an eye out for these points, these communities. We've got some awesome partnerships, both like traditional and within Solana that we're getting ready to announce too. So I think honestly, like once the beta is out in the community, I'm going to be really excited to kind of see that initial feedback and then the partnerships that are going to come out after that. We're kind of keeping close to the vest right now. Yeah, I think you'll recognize them. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh no, that
that's
sounds
good.
awesome. Can't wait. Definitely can't wait. Is it going to be like actually no, I'm not even going to speculate. Not going to speculate. All right.
Yeah, we don't speculate in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I do a couple rapid fire questions and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I think we covered a couple of them, but we got to go back into the favorite NFT that you have.
Wow. I feel like I'd be disrespecting Jemmy if I didn't say the monks after that great Singapore. package he put together. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it was awesome. Like dinner, hotels, merch. But I'm gonna I'll throw Klano's out there too. Just I think the art for Klano is like next level, and I'm like beyond excited for all the stuff that they're gonna build around those dinos.
they just don't stop building, right? They're just coming out with a bunch of crazy things.
Just incredibly talented. Just the
Yeah.
art. I mean, the animation. I mean, maybe like Web3 Disney is a meme, but if anybody pulls off Web3 Disney, it's Klano.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I am hoping to make it to Breakpoint next year, Abu Dhabi. That's my goal. And love to play some golf out there.
Yeah,
That'd be
we're already talking about what can we do out there because there's like lighted golf courses and it's a pretty good little golf town.
Is it?
Yeah. They host like, European tour events out there. There's like obviously like swanky resorts there.
Oh yeah,
And the whole lighted component too is interesting too. So
like some night golf.
yeah. Stay tuned. We're working on it.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, that would be the dreams to make it out there. So we'll see if we make that happen. Speaking of dream, where's the dream golf course round? Where's the course
Oh.
that you think of that you want to play on?
Hmm.
I
I've
mean,
been pretty fortunate.
you've probably played a lot of them, right?
I've played a lot of the best resort in public.
Uh-huh.
I would say I've played a decent amount of privates. Probably Cypress Point. I've heard a lot of good stuff about. I've
Yeah,
driven by Cypress Point. I've obviously seen the pictures. I've read the books.
yeah.
Probably that over Augusta. I played a lot in Scotland. I like my happy place is Scotland. I would go to Scotland like tomorrow.
Man,
Um,
I'd love to do that. What is it?
yeah,
Is
like
it what is it?
St. Andrews,
Yeah,
the Highlands. Edinburgh is an amazing town. You can't go wrong there.
yeah. I would love to go out there as well. And what is it? Is Lynx DAO the ETH NFT? They bought a golf course out there,
They did,
right?
yeah, Spey Bay. So that's outside Inverness, which is in the Highlands. So yeah, really excited to see that come together. They're renovating it.
Oh, are they?
Um, so yeah, I would love to get out there.
Yeah,
Just even kind of knowing the architects involved with it, it's very exciting.
yeah, yeah. I feel like the ultimate trip would be Scotland, hit the golf courses and hit the distilleries. It just seems like an amazing time. I'd love to
Yeah,
do that.
try and do like 7 to 10 days. You got to let me know if you're going. I'll
Yeah.
write
Oh,
something up
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah,
Get a custom kilt. Get the whole thing going.
definitely. Yeah, no, it's great there. I mean, the debate is always Ireland or Scotland. I lean Scotland, but both are just like epic.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good. I definitely in the like bucket list is going to Scotland, so hopefully I get there. Um, let's see. So, what's it gonna take for Solana Monkey Business to come back out of this bear market, out of the trenches? How do we get them back?
How do we get SMB floor up? Wow, I don't know. I'm thinking of like when Lollipop burned Dice's NFT
Oh,
PFP. I don't know
so
what.
great.
Yeah, maybe we need like a few more hundred events of that.
Yeah, which I
Um,
saw him back recently. I feel like when I first started this podcast a couple of years ago, he was just like a maniac, just attacking DAOs. He burned his own profile picture. He burned others. Like it was insane what he was doing, and he kind of took a step back.
yeah, no, yeah. Well, we're in the server. We're talking. I actually have
Yeah.
a great deal of respect for him, even
Oh
though he
yeah.
did attack our DAO at
Oh
Marinade.
oh
He had
yeah.
a
The marinade. That was the one that he had like the majority of the tokens, right? And he was like, I
no,
don't.
he didn't have
I
it.
guess
No,
we.
he was upset that he didn't have the majority of the tokens.
Oh.
I think he realized that he didn't have the influence he thought he might have.
Uh,
But yeah, he was wrecking up. I look back at those months and where he was there because it was like the dead of the bear market. No one cared about anything. And then he like came into our DAO and was just proposing absolute lunacy. Um, but it made us like kind of have to argue and fight and vote on stuff, which
yeah.
um, when people care about your project, even if they're like nuts or have bad ideas, like if no one even cares, that's when you've got issues. So it's
Yeah.
like when even if the proposals are out there to see like any energy in a project, especially during that time, um, yeah, I welcomed it, and that's and and now I'm a bandito. So
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Full
yeah.
circle. First circle. You came back. That's one thing that SMB has, right? There is some obscene amount of drama there, every other month. And there's something comes up and um, I feel like it's the community will will hold on. And I feel like it's one of the
Yeah.
first real projects, real NFT projects on Solana. I feel like there's some history there. It's
The
been
only thing worse than drama is like no drama.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
I mean, we've seen some votes over the last couple of years where like votes passed on chain because no one even knew that there was a vote.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
um, was it like Synthetify, one of those. Like there's a few examples of that where people were able to essentially manipulate votes on chain just because no one was looking.
Just because no one
So
cared. Yeah,
I'd much prefer the dysfunction.
yeah,
To answer your initial question about the SMBs, I think they're onto something with this kind of universal country club model and the idea
yeah.
of like if I'm an SMB, I've got a home anywhere in the world. I'm hoping to do what I can here in Texas for that. And I really think that that resonates to kind of know wherever I go, there's a monk that I can hang out with, get dinner with, all that, play golf with. Like I'm trying to get a monkey golf event going, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, no, I'd,
Mhm.
I'd love to do something. The only real crypto meetup I ever did was a golf tournament. It ended up being a DGOG golf tournament. So
The golf, yeah, yeah. They're another.
yeah,
I mean, there are these little pockets of golf and crypto. I'm in a Telegram group. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be in it, but it's like a crypto London golfers
uh-huh.
group. That like how many more of those out there? Like,
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of them, right? And
hmm?
maybe connect up with Links down because I used to be in there. I think I've got one of their like cheaper PFP ones,
Oh, I'm in
but
there. I'm in there too. Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a really really big DAO, right?
yeah. They've been around for a long time. I mean, they're it's an ambitious goal that I think like speaks well to crypto of like the idea of like owning a golf course like as a DAO. I don't know about you, but like
Wild.
I want to like build my own golf course.
Oh, you do want to?
Oh yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. It'll be a small one, but I think most serious golfers like imagine like what would my home course look like?
Yeah,
Would it be like public? Would it be private? Would it be nine holes? Would it be super hard? Would it be easy? Would it be for kids? I think we've all like I used to like design those courses on the video games. It
oh
was like
yeah, yeah,
like Jack Nicklaus 4, I think was the one where you could like design your own courses. Yeah, I totally like, but I think like on-chain funding, like being able to like raise funds on chain in a DAO and buy something quickly, not just what LinkStyle is doing, but I think about all the courses at one point that were struggling, or even like, public courses that needed to raise money, or like private clubs that went under and like the homeowners wanted to like rally funds together. DAOs are seemingly a great way to do that quickly.
yeah. Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
would like to see
absolutely.
that happen.
Yeah, I think I feel like there was like we thought that DAOs were going to be everything for a little while, and then we thought that DAOs were going to be completely useless. But I think there's going to be some takeaways from and some really good examples where raising funds was a big thing, and I mean, coordinating a group of people is tough. And I feel like voting on chain, especially on Solana, like when you were able to do all that and prove votes on chain, like that was a pretty big change, right? Like I don't do too many DAO votes. I don't spend too much time in Monk DAO as I used to. But I definitely casted my votes, and big things happened, right? Like the DAO bought over the whole IP. There was definitely some really cool things that came out of it. So I'm excited to see where that goes. Like I feel like the negative views of DAOs is probably coming to an end, right?
It takes time. I mean, you think of like Helium. I feel like they're just now hitting their stride. They've been around since 2017, maybe earlier.
Yeah,
So to build something worthwhile, you can't just get a couple devs together and like hack something together and it's like perfect.
yeah,
Things that take a long time are going to take, a decade plus. So it's okay to,
yeah,
I know that we always like think of shipping in like a matter of days and all that, but a complex system like governance on chain, trusting my funds there, onboarding grandpa, um,
yeah.
it's going to take a while, and that's okay. Just get it right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Helium looks like it's an overnight success because it has a $20 plan. But I mean, yeah, that took a long time, and it's one of the biggest DAOs, right? I don't know the exact amount of people in there, but if you go in their Discord server, it's 20,000 plus, I want
Yeah,
to
it's
say.
legit.
Yeah,
It's a legit DAO, and they're a leader. And I think sometimes we forget about them because they've been around. They're kind of like this dino project, but that's what it takes. You got to stick around for multiple cycles,
yeah,
learn, and now their network's massive, and I've got a helium phone plan.
yeah. I do as well. I do as well. It's fantastic. Um, let's see. So what advice do you have for any listeners that are going through their first bull cycle? You know, I get a lot of questions even just about like wallets and stuff. So I feel like there's some lessons to be learned.
Oh yeah, wow. Not financial advice, but I would
Yeah, yeah,
say,
yeah.
um, yeah, I think the unforced errors, um, take care of wallet security first and foremost. It's okay to have all your wallets like connected to like a hard device, so it almost kind of like prevents you from like aping stuff. I would be, I don't know really know where we're at in the current cycle. I don't think there's too much vapor yet. Um, but yeah, I think you need to find like a few voices to follow that you trust that have been around a while. For me, that's a guy like Joe McCann, um,
Oh yeah,
at Asymmetric. You kind of want to know the voices who have been around a long time and kind of seen a lot of it and can kind of help you like when things get like bananas, like with Luna, and like in 22, it's kind of easy to get sucked in. So you just want to make sure that you're staying measured. Um, don't FOMO into stuff. Easier said than done, but there's
yeah,
always opportunities out there. So just don't go nuts.
yeah, yeah. No, that's great advice. I feel like I keep ledgers all around, and probably like 95% of all of my coins I can't really touch easily. And it's probably saved me, a ton, especially in this
Mhm.
meme coin cycle and NFTs. Like I don't, I feel like Sol is incredibly liquid, right? So if you have like 50 Sol sitting in a wallet, it's like, all right, well, I'm buying this coin, it's going up. It's too easy to, where it's like
Mhm.
you almost have to kind of like understand that you're not
Yeah,
perfect and like you're not always going to be in the best mindset and just
yeah.
protect.
If I could answer the question differently too, I would say that like get involved in the space to understand what you're doing. Like if you're just like a Coinbase trader, like buying charts or doing what people tell you to buy, like you don't have any conviction, you don't understand what's going on. Like the second there's like a 20% down day, you freak out and get rid of it. Um, like if you don't have conviction, it's really not an asset class that you want to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that was incredibly important during the Solana bear market when we were dipping
Mm.
below $10. I feel like that was like I don't know, was the wildest time where the sentiment was so bad, but it was like, hey, everything still works. I was,
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
it was like, hey, like I, speaking of being able to get in touch with anybody, like the Solana community was pretty small at that point. There was maybe a couple thousand of us, but if I had a problem with something, I'd tweet about it, and the CEO would like
Yeah.
DM me like, hey, what are you running into?
Mm.
Or you're going to any Discord server, and people were still building, and I was like, you know what, like this is real. I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah. I'd leave, but who would take me?
Yeah.
Like that was kind of the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Bitcoiners already cast me out. I'm not going back. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah.
funny.
What a ride.
Yeah, yeah, no, it sure was. And now we get to celebrate. And one of the thing that I'm most excited about now is really seeing, what kind of consumer apps we can build, right? And what am I going to come back to? What am I going to use every day? What will like cross the barrier into my real life? And I think the Golfn app is 100% something that I'm thinking that will, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
that's why I'm here.
yeah,
100%. I think and being able to kind of strip down any of the kind of degenerate crypto stuff that so that the user doesn't even really see it and they're just using it because they like it
yeah,
and it's more fun. That's a big goal. Shout out to Moonwalk too. They're doing a great job on that front too. You think of
yeah,
like the step in model from 21 was just like a not a really sustainable
Yeah.
model. And like
It was,
Moonwalk's probably not getting the credit they deserve because it's not like a Ponzi. So,
yeah,
um,
I love it for
yeah.
that reason, right? Like you don't have to start a walk every day, every time you go out there. You don't have to manage an NFT, you don't have to deal with, the token price going up and down and all that. Like Moonwalk just tracks your steps. It's as easy as that. You can join whatever game you want. It holds me accountable, and I am so unwilling to lose $5 a day. Like I will walk circles around my living room before I give up that $5, you know?
My kids ask me what I'm doing, like pacing the house and those walks at 11:48 p.m.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My daughter, she will at the end of the day ask me if I have enough steps, and she'll kind of start walking around the living room if she thinks that I don't. So it's a funny thing to pass along, but great. I feel like incredibly healthier from I forget when they actually launched it, but I think that was a Nom and Forculus project where they were giving us early betas in the quick Telegram. So we've been doing it for a while now, and I love it.
I gotta get in this Telegram.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get into nobles.
19 to go. Okay, I gotta sweep the floor when we get off here.
There you go. There you go. I like the sound of that. But hey, definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Really great talking to you. Love what you guys are doing at Golf, and love to have you back. Maybe when you guys are launching the app, love to test the app, whatever. Let me know if I can ever help out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Happy to have you. Thanks for having me. A lot of fun talking with a fellow golfer, fellow comms guy. It seems like you're awesome at this. So excited to continue watching the podcast grow. And Drip's awesome too. Like I'm just getting more and more involved with Drip, and it's such a unique channel to kind of drive content like this. I love that it's not just photos that you can do there, but you can do all sorts of mediums. So
Oh,
I'm
huge fan
loving
of
what you're doing.
Drip. Yeah, huge fan of Drip. Yeah, it's funny at the time when they came in, like compressed NFTs were kind of like coming up against our NFTs, like they're cheap, they're free. But seeing the other side of that, where it's a distribution method, is amazing. So I've had a lot of fun doing it, and that whole team is fantastic. Like getting set up on the platform was amazing. I had like three different support people helping me and everything. So yeah, it was great.
Love it. Yeah.
So
Well,
good.
best of luck. I'll be listening. Let's do it
Okay,
again.
sounds good. Thanks a lot. Great meeting you, and let's talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Solana Weekly. Once again, this is Thomas Bahamas, and I have one final ask for you guys. If you could, please subscribe on whatever player you're listening to. You could leave a review, that would be amazing. If you want to shill me your bags, work for them. But yeah, really appreciate it. And as always, this is not financial advice, but I want you guys to accelerate, move forward, and let's get this bag. I'll catch you guys next week.